Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to set up Google Analytics with the Sonar Cocos helper. As always, you need to have watched the first video of getting started to set up your project, and I'll leave a link in the description so you can go do that video first if you haven't already. And secondly, you should have this external Cocos helper Android frameworks folder, and if not, I'll put a link to the GitHub so you can download the latest version. And that's it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go to your web browser, go to Google Analytics, sign in, and you will be on the home page, and we're going to want to add a new project. So if we click on admin, and then under property, if you click on drop down, and at the bottom you got create new property, and then it says new property, what would you like to track, and ours is a mobile app. I'm just going to call this test Android tutorial. Select the category, select games, you just choose the time zone as well, and then you click this get tracking ID, and you'll see your tracking ID here. And also if you click on the home, you'll see this test Android tutorial. I can get my tracking ID from here as well. I'm not going to be using this one because in order to show you the real-time tracking, it takes around 24 hours for it to kick in. So we've already got one that I'm going to be using, so I'm going to be using Sonar Cocos helper test. So I'm going to be using this ID. So I'm going to copy that for now, and I'm going to minimize this, and I'm going to open up my project folder, which is just a blank Cocos project, the Hello World project. I can put that to one side, and I'm going to open up the external Cocos helper Android framework folder, and I go into frameworks, and I'm going to copy the Google Analytics API folder to Project Android Source Sonar System Frameworks. I'm going to hit paste. Also, if you are watching this and you're using your existing, like the initial release code, you will need to get the latest code from GitHub as well, as things in base class have changed and other places. So just make sure you get the latest code from GitHub. And so that's copied in. That's all we need to do there. I'm just going to quickly go back and grab my tracking ID. So Eclipse is open. I've just pasted in the framework, which is just showing up now. So the first thing I'm going to do is go into resources folder, values, settings XML, scroll all the way down and enter my Google Analytics tracking ID in the space where it says to, and make sure there's no empty space at the end. I'm going to save that. Okay, next I'm going to go to the framework and go to settings, and I'm going to set use Google Analytics to true. As you can see on the right hand side, it says it requires the Google Play Services library, so I will show you how to link that. But first we need to make some changes to the manifest for the Google Play Services. So if you go to the manifest and find where the Google Play Services requirements are, and just take off the comment here, just paste it, and now you've got your Google Play Services metadata tags in your manifest. So next we need to add in the Google Play Services library, and if you don't know how to do this, I'm about to show you now. So if you haven't already downloaded it, if you click on Android SDK Manager, Once this loads, if you scroll all the way down to extras, you see Google Play Services, and you can tick it and click install or update, and that will download it for you. And if you look at the top where it says your SDK path, it also shows you where it will be downloaded to. So I'm going to navigate to this path, so wherever your path is, you're going to want to navigate here next. So we're going to go File, Import existing Android code into Workspace. Then you're going to browse to that location. So Android SDK. Then once you're at that location, you want to go to Extras, Google Play Services, Lib Project, and click OK. As you can see, the library is now ready to import, so just hit Finish, and the library is imported. So next, we need to link it with our project. So if you right click on your project, go to Properties, click on Android, and then click the Add button under Library, and you'll see Google Play Services Library, and you have a green tick. And finally, if we go to the build path and then Libraries, we need to add jars. So if you go Add Jars, Google Play Services, and then under Libs, add the Google Play Services jar, and just tick it on the Order and Export tab as well, and click OK. Okay, so now we're pretty much set up for running it. So I'm just going to run it on my phone before showing you the functions that you can perform, because by default, if I just hook my phone up ready to run it on my phone, and I shall get this by here. So by default, just by setting Google Analytics to true, it will track some basic data for you, such as so you'll be able to view how many users are on your app live, real time, and name of your app, version of your app, and their device, and things like that. That's all tracked automatically when you set that to true. So I'm just gonna go to real time here, go to overview. As you can see, there are 0 people on right now, so I'm going to run it and just click back on there just to show you that real time does work. And again, if you've just created your ID, it does take around 24 hours for this to become active, so that's why I'm using one we've created beforehand and not the one I created in this video. So is this gonna run? Okay, it's definitely running now. Oh, has it gone to? My USB is not plugged in. Sorry about that. There we go. Let's close these. Okay, now it should be running on my phone. Or not. There we go, HTC. Right, sorry about that. These emulators, so ignore them. So it's just started running on my phone, I believe. So in about a couple of seconds, should see that change to 1. There you go. So you can see that hasn't updated yet, but there we go. If I click on that, you can see the active screen, which by default is the Cocos activity. You can see I'm on version 1, location, And oh, eventually, I don't think it tells you the device until later on in the regular overview. But yeah, by default it tracks that data, so that's useful. So next I'm going to show you how you can do things like set the active screens. So maybe you want to track whether they're on the main menu or the options screen or actually in game. You can do that through the use of the functions. So first thing I'm going to do is just show you the functions we have available. So we have set screen name, where you can set screen name. So if you're on the main menu, you can set screen name to main menu, or if you're on options screen, you can set screen name to options. You got a dispatch interval, which you don't need to call because by default it's already set, but if you want a custom dispatch interval, you're welcome to set it yourself. And you can send events, so basically things like you can just track when a user uses a power up or something like that, and track that as well via the send event function. So we're going to do set screen and send event. So as always include the Sonar framework's header file, and then what I'm going to do is when the app loads straight away, I will set screen name to main menu, and when I click the close button, I'll set the screen name to options. Okay, so it's going to run that. And this, even though it is real time, it does take around 30 to 60 seconds to update. But yeah, hopefully it won't take too long. So the app's just relaunched now. So let's make this bigger. And give it time. So there's the new one now. This should come through soon. There you go. Active screen name main menu, and I'm going to click the power button. And again, give it 30-ish seconds, and it should update to the options screen. Okay, I'm just gonna rerun the app. Oh, never mind. Just a bit delayed. There you go, and now I'm on the options screen. So as you can see, it is sort of real time. That was what, I know, a minute and a half, maybe 2 minutes for that to come through. Cause yeah, you can see I mashed the button 9 times. Now I'm on the options screen. So that's a way that you can use it to track where in your app people are going, and you can see the areas that they most go or least go and make updates accordingly. So that's active screens, and then you've got events, which are pretty much the pretty much similar to set screen name, except you can add extra stuff. So you can choose a category, you can say what action they're performing, you can add a label to it and a value if you want. These two are optional, so if you're not going to use them, just pass through an empty string for the label and a 0 for value. I'm just going to be using category, action, and I'll do label as well. So I'll send an event when I click the button. So category, let's pretend it's an in-app purchase. Action, let's say bought special pack. Label, user performed in-app purchase, and then value I'm just going to put 0 because I don't really care about the value. And yeah, so I'm going to save that and run it and bring back this up. I'll just refresh. And it should say I'm on the main menu screen, so I'll know it once it's updated. So I'm going to wait for the active screen to go back to main menu. Or should I just go straight to events? Decisions. App activity. Interesting. Well, I'm just going to ignore that and go straight to events. And I'm going to click the button. I think I clicked the button, so just give it hopefully 30-ish seconds. There we go. So I probably skipped the video so you didn't have to wait 3 minutes to see these events come through. But you can see now I've got in-app purchase as a category, an event, bought special pack, and I believe that's how many users. So yeah, so that's how you can track specific events in your apps as well. So hopefully, and just be aware that if you click on one, it will put a filter on, so if you do that you'll be able to see all the events. So hopefully that will help you get in tracking into your game via Google Analytics. As always, have a good day.